Hello everyone, it is Jazz here. Today I am doing yet another music collection, CD collection video, and I have made a playlist of all my music collection related videos. So if you want to check that out, I have left the link to that playlist in the description. So if you want to know about my vinyl and digital and CD collection some more, you can go look it up. And now, without further ado, let's just jump into albums number 31 through 40 of my CD collection. Number 31 is Chris Cornell's Euphoria Morning album. This is the first solo album that Chris Cornell made outside of his several bands that he was in, because he was in several, which I do enjoy listening to those ones too. But I have to admit that the first time that I heard Chris Cornell sing anything was off of this album, so off of one of his solo albums. His solo albums are in general really, really excellent. This one is no different. It is super awesome, and I believe that I stole it from my mom because I liked it so much, but now we share our collection pretty much, so it doesn't matter. It's got some really fabulous music on it. So if you haven't listened to this album, please go and check out Euphoria Morning. Next I have Songs About Jane by Maroon 5, their first album. Got this when they first started getting big, so back in, what is this, 2003, that's when I got this album, and I really enjoyed it. Pretty much every song on this album is really excellent and groovy and just good pop rock fun. I will say though that sadly after this album I never really listened to any of their full albums. I just ended up listening to their singles as they got really popular and played over and over again. So maybe I should jump on that and see if I like the whole albums of any of their other albums. But this first one was an excellent debut album. Number 33 is the soundtrack for the film I Am Sam. The idea behind this soundtrack was for several different artists to create covers of Beatles songs, because as I remember from the film, the main character in the film was really obsessed with the Beatles, and so that's what the whole theme of this is. And if you're looking for some really cool, really interesting Beatles covers, this is definitely the album to check out. I really enjoyed the soundtrack. I think maybe I watched a movie once, maybe twice, but I've listened to this multiple times. So even though the movie is pretty good, I definitely listened to the soundtrack and experienced the soundtrack more than I even did the movie. I have Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson, one of her most popular albums, I bet, that she ever made, and I don't disagree with it. It is really good quality pop music, and this girl can sing anything. So if I want to listen to some beltin' pop, this is definitely a CD that I will pop in. And I know that there were a couple songs on here that I used to really enjoy karaokeing when I was practicing my singing, because if you want to get a singing workout, all you got to do is sing a Kelly Clarkson song. Might as well talk about albums number 35 and 36 at once, because they are both Phantom of the Opera. First, I have the original cast recording of the musical Phantom of the Opera. This is mostly a highlights album, so it's not the full span of like every little interlude in there, but it is the main songs that occur in Phantom of the Opera. Really enjoyable Broadway cast album. But I also have the double disc movie cast recording of the Phantom of the Opera, and this is a more extensive album of music since it is 2 discs. When this movie came out, I listened to this in the car all the time, and because I used so much of the interludes and things like that from the film, I almost felt like I was watching the movie all over again every time I listened to this. I'm sure somebody will ask me which one of these I prefer, and I have to say I don't really prefer one over the other. They're both really fun and good. Next, I have Speak for Yourself by Imogen Heap. This is also featured in my digital albums collection video if you watch that, because I love this album. This album just makes me super happy. I love all of Imogen Heap's albums, but this one, I guess in particular, just really resonates with me. I must just particularly like the songs on this one. I really think she has a really great, interesting voice that is just all her own. I also love her lyricism because it's so interesting. She can actually make all this great electronic music like herself, which is such an inspiration to me, and it's so cool to see like videos of her doing her music live or creating the music, if you can find any of those, because she has such an interesting repertoire of sounds that she uses to create her music. And yes, just love Speak for Yourself. Also, if you want to go on Spotify, they have the deluxe edition of this album, which is super cool because it has the original songs and also the instrumental versions of those songs. So if you want to hear all the sounds that she makes in her music by itself, you can do that as well. Awesome album. If you haven't checked out this album or Imogen Heap, check it out now. It's one of my faves. Number 38 is Martina McBride's Emotion album. Got this album, I think, because I really enjoyed the song that she had in Runaway Bride, the I Love You song, and I did really enjoy that movie, and I really enjoyed the song, so I bought the album, and I think it was one of my first experiences listening to Martina McBride, and I was like just flippin' amazed because this girl can sing so good, and like everything she sings is amazing. She's another singer that can just sing anything, in my opinion. I'll be just like, yes. I really enjoy this album. It has a really cool mixture of uplifting songs on it, as well as some very sad songs or deep thinker kind of songs, which I think is a really excellent way to plan your album, and it actually goes with the title of the album, Emotion, because it just makes you go through all the different feels. This one, and if you don't like country, I think that you might like this one. So if you're looking for a country album to try, this is a cool country pop one that you might want to give a go. Then I have Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park. So this one does have sort of a funny story. I have kind of mentioned before that in my younger years, I did not have a very wide variety of music in my repertoire. I listened to a lot of like musical theater soundtracks, and I did listen to some other artists, but it wasn't as many as my mother would have liked. And in my early teens, my mom like one day went, Jazz, we're gonna go to the store and get you some trip hop and some Linkin Park because we just need to expand your range. And I was like, who's Linkin Park? What? Oh, you can definitely thank my mom for helping me expand my range of listening to some rock music, and for me owning Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory album. And I was very glad that she introduced me to Linkin Park because it is the soundtrack to my teen angst. Anytime I was like mad about something or upset, this was blaring out. And I think a lot of teenagers probably did that. That was like the one time that I was probably like a normal teen. So thank you, Hybrid Theory, for giving me a normal teen moment. And I do actually love every single song on this album. So it's another great plus is that I did end up really loving it, and it did expand my musical range. Thank you, Mom. Number 40 is the soundtrack to the film Flashdance. So my feelings on the actual film Flashdance are just like, it's okay. It's like meh. It's not my favorite dance movie, I think, because the dance teacher inside me is like, if you needed that much doubles for your lead actress to do that final dance scene, then maybe you should have just hired an actress that could dance. I don't know. But it is still a dance movie classic, I will give it that. And I do really enjoy the soundtrack. I think it has a really great collection of 80s pop dance music, and it's definitely fun to listen to, fun to enjoy, fun to like silly dance around to in your house. Even the slow tunes are really nice to just be like to, you know, like just groove a little bit too. So I definitely think Flashdance's soundtrack is a classic album. Those were albums 31 through 40 of my CD collection, and I hope you guys found some new music or remembered some old stuff that you loved or just had fun watching this video. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all on Thursday with another video. Bye!